my good friend Ellen. Hi, Ellen.
Hi. Hello.
So we're minus one half of the borough tonight. Charlie has come down with the bubonic plague, so he's not joining us, but he is in the chat right now if you guys want to say hi to him. So today the show is going to be all about NaNoWriMo because it is November 1st and it's officially day one of NaNoWriMo 2015. And for those of you who don't know, NaNoWriMo stands for National Novel Writing Month, which is the month of November, and you have to try and write, I think it's 50,000 words in the month. Is that right?
Yeah. Well, you can go higher or lower, but 50,000 is like the sort of, that's the goal.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Ellen's actually one of my good friends from high school. We met in grade 10 religion class. I was sitting in front of her.
It was such an auspicious start to any friendship. Grade 10 religion class is where all the best friendships are made.
Yeah, and okay, you know why I sat by you? I was like, I know that girl likes anime, so I'm gonna pick that seat.
And a friendship
This
that
is my
will
new
last a
best friend.
lifetime was born. It's perfect. It worked out beautifully for both of us.
It did, and so
And we survived religion class.
somehow, yeah. We also survived grade 12 writer's craft class together. We sat next to each other in writer's craft. And I have this,
through it.
Well, okay, if you remember, our final project was a 50-page story.
I do remember.
And we had to like review each other's stories and like get up in front of the class and kind of do a little review of it.
Yep.
Do you remember your review? Do you remember your review of my story?
I have completely blocked that memory from my mind because I seem to remember being deeply ashamed of myself.
Okay. Well, you got up in front of the class and you were like,
oh, no.
The plot was like this soaring bird, and then it just got sucked into a jet engine and died.
I don't know why you're still friends with me. I would have cut me. I'm so grateful to have your friendship. I'm such a shitty friend. You didn't deserve that. I'm sorry. You didn't deserve that, Emily.
No, it was a bad ending. Anyway, would you like to tell... Oh my gosh, we don't have a name for the people on the borough. We should probably call them the Weasleys or something, because that's what the borough is named after.
That'd be cute. I don't know. Yeah, that'd be super cute.
We'll see what Charlie says about that. But do you want to tell them all about yourself and your portrait of Princess Diana?
Yes, I would be happy to. My name's Ellen, as Emily has described, but I'm living in Lunenburg right now at a room and board place. So local people have stashed me in their attic so that I can continue working in here. And there's pictures of Princess Diana all over the house for good luck. And beatific, gentle portraits are lovely to have in anyone's home. So that's what that's all about. But yeah, I am a kind of irresponsible 20-something that graduated and immediately started sailing on tall ships instead of getting a career. So I've spent the summer sailing on Canada's ship Blue Nose 2, Nova Scotia's ship. And this autumn I've been working at the Fisheries Museum of the Atlantic, winterizing the ships for the museum. So I'm going to be coming back to Ottawa, where I live in the winter, soon. But until then, I am perched on a bed in an attic in Lunenburg doing my NaNoWriMo. So far, that's what's going on since October.
That's fantastic.
It's pretty weird.
It's awesome.
Honestly, I did not picture myself here 6 months ago. I didn't picture myself here 2 weeks ago, but it's been pretty great. Very inspiring, actually. So,
especially the royal family.
They're always very helpful.
Inspires you all day long.
Just smiling gently from every corner of the room.
It's so amazing.
I'm really glad I picked this spot too, just so you can really... This is like the head of my bed. She watches over me while I sleep.
So do you want to describe a little bit of your nano history? Like we're going to get into a little bit more, but like you're kind of a veteran with Nano, and me and Charlie are virgins, so we need you to like let your wisdom wash upon us.
My first piece of wisdom is that at some point this month you will find yourself drinking wine out of a measuring cup or like a mug or something, possibly a bowl. You probably won't have bowls left by week 2 because you'll stop doing dishes at some point. And that's going to be okay. Just embrace that. It's going to be all right. By week 4, you may be drinking wine just straight out of the bottle, and that's okay too. There's just things that slide in November. You kind of have to like let them go. Just let them go, and then just do the word count. If you find yourself cleaning, it means you're procrastinating because you could be spending the time you're cleaning writing. Yeah. So you should like, do the writing, and then the cleaning can go hang. And then in December, you have to like haul ass because people are coming to visit you. But that's fine too, because by then you've won. It's fine.
Yeah, I've already procrastinated, and it's day 1.
That's okay.
I made donuts today.
I feel like that's perfectly fine. I feel like if you're going to procrastinate, making donuts is probably the best thing you could be doing for that.
I was like, I need sustenance to write.
If it makes you feel any better, I sat for 3 hours in front of my laptop watching the cursor of my Word program flashing in and out of sync with the ticking of the honest-to-God grandfather clock that's downstairs. So that was, and then I got up and had a shower and went for a walk to treat myself for being so studious for 3 hours.
Yeah.
And then I bought like stupid stuff. I think I bought like chips and chocolate and came back and didn't eat them and sat in front of my laptop for a further hour and a half before I started
eat them?
doing anything. No, I was like, oh, I'll like, you know, get some snacks to get my strength up, but then I just didn't. And I watched the cursor flashing on my laptop for a little while longer. It's all right.
Hate that.
Yeah. It's fine. It's easier. What I find is easier is if that cursor really is starting to like drive you nuts and you feel like just stopping, it helps to just start writing anything. Like even if it's like a journal entry, or I think the first line of the first thing I wrote is like, God damn, I hate this so much. What am I doing? I'm going to have a nap. It does help to have like a NaNoWriMo or NaNoWriMo companion, which is like day 1. I've been sitting here for 3 hours. I'm going to make donuts. And then the next line is, I've made donuts. I'm still not writing.
Uh-oh, Charles is here.
Hello there.
Hello.
Hey, buddy.
Hi.
How you feeling?
I've had better days, but like I said, my mother's Catholic guilt is pinging throughout my body right now, so yeah, here I am. Ellen, it's very nice to meet you.
It's good to meet you.
Thank you.
Charlie is our resident writer, and he lives in Japan.
Hey, how's it going?
Fine. Yeah. How are things with you? I've been enjoying hearing your tales of ships and whatnot. Speaking eloquently as always. Apologies.
Are you a fan of Princess Di?
I hope so.
I'm not a fan, I guess.
You may be a fan by the end of this podcast.
Well, she is staring deeply into my soul whenever your camera is the center here. So, indeed. But
I'll
anyway,
just keep talking, and there it is.
Yeah. Sorry, don't let me derail the conversation.
You totally derailed it.
I have no idea what I was talking about.
Not doing what we should be doing and whatnot.
Okay, well, Ellen was just kind of introducing her experience with Nano in past years, right?
Oh, right, yeah. Yeah, definitely. It helps to write like a companion, which is just like to warm up. And it's not anything formal. It's just like to start writing at the beginning of whatever time of day you want to write in. It's good to just sit there, be like, day 43 on the island feels like actually day 4. And then you can kind of go from there. And you can write about anything you like, about how terrible your lunch was or how you're out of dishes and you've started drinking wine out of miscellaneous crap in your house. And, like, you've probably neglected your pets to the point where you kind of deserve them to be little shits and, like, you know, being bad. And after that, you can kind of be like, all right, I'm going to go let my cat out. And then 2 hours later, you sit back down and you can continue writing the companion. And then after that, you can kind of feel like, all right, and kind of make a start at actually writing your NaNoWriMo and being productive. I find that really helps. And it helps to start, I find it helps to start that process as early as possible, so then you have the maximum amount of time to procrastinate. So by the time you actually start writing, you still have enough time to actually do the word count before midnight.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be too hardline on myself for the midnight. I'm just going to count it like whenever I go to bed, because it might be past midnight.
It's not tomorrow until you wake up, so it's fine.
That was so poetic, oh my god.
So have you guys gotten put any words down today?
Yeah.
I did, yes.
Excellent.
Ellen's done for her day.
I did.
Very nice.
I got my word count. Hit my word count today.
Nice.
Which is, although I had a false start, I think I wrote about 600 words and then decided I didn't like it, and so I just started over.
Oh, you're not supposed to do that.
No, I know. I feel very guilty, so I just wanted to get that off my chest immediately. And now I feel much better about my second start. I'm not a planner, I'm a pantser, so I typically have like a general idea of what I want to do, and then just sort of stagger drunkenly into the night, like, well, let's find out where this goes. So I kind of give myself 1 or 2 false starts, just in case this happens, which it usually does. And that way, your second start, you kind of know who the characters are and where they are and what they're doing. All that stuff that you can generally work out if you're a conscientious planner. Well done, Emily. Trying to do on my first run.
Oh, shut up! What a braggart. I do outlines.
Well, how are you doing, Charlie, despite being deathly ill?
I mean, fine. I don't know. I went for a long hike yesterday, right? And the point was that normally that helps me write. And especially because I'm setting my story here, like about 150 years ago.
Cool.
It was really important for me to sort of to see the place, right? So anyway, though, that led to my being exhausted and putting myself into like caffeine overdrive by drinking too much coffee. So then when I finally sat down to write, it was like this I don't know, I was in this really weird place where my brain was racing really fast, but my body and like eyes were so sluggish. So I would get like 200 words in and be like, no, this is complete garbage, and then I'd go back, and then it like the process. And so finally I was just like, all right, well, if today's going to be a garbage day, that's fine. So I finished out with a little over 1,200 words yesterday.
Which was November 1st Japan time, just side note.
Yes, I exist in your future, so I'm in day 2, so. Yeah, but yeah, so it's okay, but I gotta say I'm a little worried now because I didn't start with like a clean slate of like clean dishes and a clean room or anything, so I'm already like screwed, it sounds like.
We need house elves.
Yeah, like I'm ready to start drinking wine out of measuring cups, so.
That's a good place to be at. When you're at that place, everything just kind of, it's all downhill from there. You just kind of have to adjust your standards low enough that you can let your imagination run wild, and then after that, it's all easy.
Well, here's hoping.
Becky is saying hi to you in the chat if you want to say hi to her.
Oh, I can't actually see anything coming up on the chat.
Yeah, just say hi to her in the video.
Hello! I'm sorry I can't answer you in the chat personally.
Hi, Becky. Thank you for coming.
Yes, thank you, Becky, and Elle, and others.
Yes.
I can't see anything, so hello to everyone out there. Good luck this month and all that.
Okay, so shall we get started on the questionnaire thingy?
Yes, please.
Okay. I'll just pull it up on my phone. I swear I'm not chatting to other people.
Dun, dun, dun.
Tisk, Emily, tisk.
Wow.
Okay, so this is a tag, and I thought we could kind of just go around and answer each of the questions. Some of them won't apply to me and Charlie because we haven't done NaNoWriMo before.
Okay.
Like the first one is, how many times have you done NaNoWriMo?
I think I've done NaNoWriMo 6 times. Although I've also done Camp NaNoWriMo, which is in April.
So is
So
that
I'm counting
including the
that.
camps?
Yes, I'm including the camp. So I think I've
Wow.
done 4 Novembers and 2 Aprils. Something
Wow.
like that.
Wow.
I haven't won every year, but I've participated, so I've done
Hmm.
some writing in each one.
Okay, so how many years did you complete?
3.
Hmm?
Or I've completed, yeah, I think I've completed 2 Aprils and a November.
Okay.
I don't know what it is about April. April is easier than November.
Maybe because it's not leading into Christmas?
Yeah, and I feel like in November when I was a student, November was always just a really heavy month.
Oh, yeah, midterms and stuff.
Yeah. And like I feel like April was kind of the time of year when I was coming out of midterms and everything was like coming to life outside, so I don't know. I feel like April was easier, but so
Okay. Question number 2. How did you first find out about NaNoWriMo? For me, it was from Ellen telling me about it.
damn it, my answer was going to be from you.
Uh-oh.
All right.
One of us is lying.
Where's the truth?
Then it would have been in high school, and it would have been someone from Writer's Craft, I guess.
Hmm?
Probably not. Most of our Writer's Craft class was not very... Let's put all that nasty stuff on a shelf. Might have been one of my older friends from high school who came back to talk to me when we were in Writer's Craft.
Okay.
I feel like she was like a veteran of Writer's Craft, so like when she came back to the school to talk to my mom, who was a teacher, I feel like I could get talking to those students, those like graduates, to ask them about life outside of small town high school. And they tell me stories about the glittering city that lay beyond. And I feel like one of the aspects of the glittering city that lay beyond our tiny town was she got to sit in a dark room and write 50,000 words one month. So that might have been it. I feel like that must have been it. I'm trying to remember her name. Her last name was Barry, because I remember that because it was cute. But I don't remember her first name.
I think I do, but I don't know if I should say it. But anyway, Charlie, how did you find out about NaNoWriMo?
I found out about it from when I was working as a web writer, and some of my coworkers and friends were like, "Oh, who's doing NaNoWriMo?" And I was like, "What's that?" And then yeah, and it sounded really really crazy to me.
You're not wrong.
Yeah, I mean because I've written like longer stuff before, but it was like over periods of like 6 months or like a year. I could take my sweet time, and getting down that many words in a month seemed like the definition of self-harm. So
Also not wrong.
so yeah. But yeah, Emily, we have to get to the bottom of this though. Like where did Emily really hear about NaNoWriMo?
If it
Well,
wasn't from me.
I thought it was from her. Maybe I found out about it through the internet. Somewhere on the internet.
I feel like I don't know. I remember the first year that I heard about it, we were definitely in high school. So it's not beyond the realm of possibility that I would have like talked to you. But I feel like you were sensible enough to be like, there's no goddamn way in hell that's a reasonable thing to do with your months.
If I was in grade 12, I would have been like, I'm too busy making anime club posters.
To be fair, those posters were amazing.
Yeah, it's true.
To be honest. I distinctly remember the commercial you made for our video announcements, and it was bomb.
Oh, Lord. Okay, back
There was a
on
commercial.
topic.
Oh.
I completely forgot about that until now. I can always count on you to be like, remember the stupid shit you did in high school?
Yeah, we were just... We gotta keep that shit alive. Anyway, okay, next question.
Okay. What was the name of the first novel you attempted with Nano?
That's a great question. I'm terrible at naming my novels. I think this one is named... Oh shit, I think they get stranded on an island on my NaNoWriMo novel site. It might have been called Cat's Candle. I think that was one.
I remember that one.
That one was fun. But yeah, a bunch of them. I did NaNoWriMo before I knew NaNoWriMo had a website. So there's some like ancient permacrud at the bottom of my hard drive that I should sort one day. And I think there's one buried in there. So I think the first one that I can remember naming is Cat's Candle. But yeah.
Well, so my first story is the one that I just started today, and right now it's titled Feet Like Ice, but I'll probably try to change it at some point.
Charlie?
Like, mine doesn't really have a title. It's just called Sabai Horror because it's a horror set in Sabai. So it's really
That's on point.
It's
Yeah,
TBA.
super clickbaity. People see that on Amazon, right? Like insta buy.
100%. That's on everyone's wish list now.
I won't forget about you peons. So
We'll look up at the lofty heights of Amazon 25 most purchases.
right. Yeah. So sadly no, but hopefully something will come out of the next couple days or weeks, and I'll find something that fits.
Yeah. Hopefully, yeah, I will also be able to rename my current novel to something a little less convoluted.
Hey, but listen, like, there's nothing wrong with, oh shit, people got stranded on an island.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sorry for misquoting that.
No, that's basically. I think you nailed it actually. So
Awesome.
you're doing well.
All right. Excellent.
Okay, the next question is really hard.
Oh, okay.
Give us a one-sentence summary of what you're writing this year.
Fuck. Oh, I just did. Nailed it. My title is also my summary. I pass. I'll mop up at the end.
That's not cool.
I know. Just gonna pass that buck right on.
Does that mean I have to go next, Emily, or do you go next?
No, you go, Charlie.
Okay. All right. This is hard.
I told you.
That is a hard one.
Okay, let's see. Let's write this.
I feel like we should get some power words up on a wall or something.
Okay, let's see. Okay, it's hard. It shouldn't be hard because I have the story in my head. Okay, so let's see. One sentence. I'm going to use a comma and an and or a but or something, but it's going to be a sentence. So, okay. All right. So, woman investigates series of ritualistic murders in a small town, comma, and she discovers that a young boy's life might
Oh, you're doing so well. Come on.
Yeah, might hang in the balance.
Oh.
Good.
Yes, very
Finish
dramatic.
strong.
That's not going to be on the book cover. That's terrible. That's like the thing you find on the bargain table, and you're like, I'm not reading this shit ever. I don't care if it's $1.
That's like, no, that's gonna be fine. That's gonna be New York #1 bestseller. I'd read it. That sounded good.
Woo.
All right.
Emily.
Hey, you actually did it. I'm impressed. That was good. All right, Emily.
Mine is struggling family in northern Ontario during an encroaching ice age get recruited by a new age cult.
Shit, that's cool. All right.
Very nice.
Thank you.
I'm interested that we both have like a cult angle or like a ritualistic angle. I'll be interested to see how we both kind of deal with that.
I feel kind of left out.
Well,
Gotta fix that.
I know. I got smugglers in mine. That's the extent. Mine is unlucky bastards sailing a private yacht, land on an island to explore, get captured by smugglers, and have to escape and break out and sail away on their boat. So,
right.
yeah, need some work. but we're pantsing, so I'm hoping that more's gonna come out of this in the future. I spent the summer sailing, so my head's full of sailing.
Oh, that's
You
fair.
write a lot about sailing and pirates and stuff.
Yeah, I do, because it's...
Which I'm not criticizing, but...
Yeah, no, it's becoming increasingly all I know about, so it's not surprising.
Will there be any shanties in this?
Oh, absolutely.
Wonderful. Okay.
Hopefully some really
Sold.
raucous ones.
Fund it.
Go fund it. Yes. We'll get a Kickstarter and a Patreon account up in no time at all. Unlucky Bastards on an Island by Helen McLaren.
Okay.
All right, we did it. We did it.
No, there's more questions.
Well, we did the one sentence thing. I'm going to take small
Okay. Congrats.
That's the hardest thing I've ever done. Oh, God.
Princess Di helped you. She was whispering.
You're always there for me. So supportive, loving. All right, Emily.
Okay, question number 5. What's the best writing advice you've ever been given?
I think that I read a poster by Lemony Snicket, who said what was probably the most meaningful thing I've ever read on a poster, now that I come to think of it, but it was steal paper from your workplace. And I immediately took that to heart, and the first printer I had ever gotten was sitting paperless in my apartment, and I 100% stole a block of paper from my workplace, which was a kitchen in Kingston, and immediately started printing out a bunch of crap that I wanted to read and highlight and doodle all over. And that was, like, honestly the first time that stuff online, resources online, became accessible to me in kind of a physical sense that I could doodle on and make notes on. And that actually became really, really important. But I feel like that's kind of a cop-out answer, because it's not really about writing, it's about petty theft, which isn't the same thing at all. But I'm not sure. Specific advice on writing, I'm not sure. Oh, I feel bad. Petty theft it is. Petty theft and Lemony Snicket. I'll keep it.
Very good.
All right.
Mine is not nearly that interesting. It's just my editor would always just say, "Get it done," and that's just like, it's pretty straightforward advice, right? And it's something I've talked about before. Just sit down and do it.
Mm-hmm.
And I say that as somebody who waited till 9 o'clock last night to attempt anything. But yeah, no, there's no fun fluff to that. There's no Lemony Snicket or larceny of any kind.
No, I feel like that's probably for the best. That's actual writing advice that everyone can kind of appreciate.
Maybe.
If you have a moral compass, you can still use your advice. I mean, you're doing well. I'm at the other end of the moral spectrum, stealing paper, apparently. All right.
Well, there's no murder involved to get a hold of said paper, so I think you're doing okay.
Well, there was that one time, but it was an accident. No one noticed, so it's fine.
You know this is going to be on the internet.
Okay, full disclaimer, no one died. I stole the paper. Anyway.
Emily, it's your turn.
Okay. I don't know where I originally heard this, but I've kind of talked about this before regarding YouTube, and that's just to write the story you would want to read, and that's kind of the philosophy that I have on my YouTube channel too, is just make the videos that I want to watch. Because if you don't have the passion there, then you're never going to actually do it or finish it. Yeah, so
True.
write what you want to read.
Man, you guys are killing this. This is amazing.
Emily, right now.
That's awesome. I like that. I don't think anyone's ever told me that, and I wish someone had years ago.
Oh.
That's
Well,
awesome.
I just told you.
Yeah, I should have asked you this whole time. I had this wealth of advice sitting right here. All right. I think that was good.
Okay.
You guys killed
There's
it.
a few more questions.
Yes.
This one only pertains to Ellen again. Did you ever take a year off from NaNo, and why?
Yeah, I took last April off? Last November off. I feel like I took last November off. And I feel like it was because I, for the first time, planned out everything. Like I planned out who my characters were and the environment, and I had a map, and I had conflict, and I had like political history, and I had all these different subplots that I'd mapped out, and there was a timeline involved. Like I had things on my wall that I could look at, like long, like built up things of paper with like connected by bits of string to like show family connections and crap. Like it was pretty in depth. And when I started writing, I immediately lost all interest in it because I knew what was going to happen. I knew who was going to get betrayed and who was going to die and how that was going to affect everything. And so it was kind of like the same feeling you get when you start reading a book that you think is going to be pretty mediocre, and you get about one chapter in and you realize you've already read it and it truly is really mediocre and you've kind of forgotten about it. I kind of felt like that when I started writing.
So
I
you
think I
spoiled
got.
yourself
I
effectively.
did. I provided myself with all the spoilers in order to write it, and because my primary audience is me, I kind of didn't get to share it with anyone. No one else knew about these spoilers, so I really, really liked the characters and I liked the setting, and I wound up using the map for another story I wrote, but and some of the political world, but I haven't gotten back to that back to that yet. And so this year I've kind of gone way the other way and planned very, very little, and I'm really excited to see where it goes. So it's kind of the opposite. So it wasn't an intended year off. I didn't say to myself I'm going to take a year off and be really studious and concentrate on my schoolwork, which is not something I've said ever. But it was kind of a case of, oh, I got really bored. And I feel like I met you, Emily, in a movie theater. And you asked me, like, all right, so we're 5 days into November, 5 days into April, whatever it was. Tell me all about all the things you're doing. And I was like, oh, I haven't done shit. You were like, what the hell?
I know, I like fell down. I'm like, I was counting on you.
We're all rooting for you. I felt so bad. And I was like, yeah, shit. And I was just like, I spent the entire month not thinking about it because I was so disappointed with myself. No, I'm excited for this. I'm excited now, so.
Yeah, you learned a lesson, I guess.
Did. I am not a planner. Pantsing all the way. But yeah.
I mean, Emily, you outline, right? Like, how heavily do you outline, though? Like, how much do you have? Like, how much do you know, like, the in-betweens of what's going to happen?
Not heavily. Like, I basically just know my beginning, middle, and sometimes the end. As Ellen can vouch for me, I can't come up with endings ever, so I basically just have my characters, just their names and ages and like the family trees kind of, and then yeah, I can actually show you. I have my notes right here.
Oh, I want to see.
Nice.
So this is like some of my main cast, and then just I wrote some notes about what are the psychological repercussions of living in eternal winter, and then
you get heavy seasonal depression.
Yeah,
for real.
God.
And I don't know why I'm like still in grade 9. I have to make this diagram every single time I sit down to write something.
I make it too.
Oh, that's interesting.
Oh, I love you. So
I totally do.
It's like introduction, inciting incident, rise in action, climax, falling action, ending.
Yeah.
I don't know why I still have to draw it. Like, I don't even write my story points on it. It's just like the basic structure.
Yep.
I
definitely do that every single time.
Characters, really basic stuff. And then, yeah, here's kind of like plot setup notes. That's it.
Nice.
So.
That's a good basic. That's a good basis to start off of. I feel like you're in a good place.
Well, I wasted a couple hours pumping that up today instead of actually writing the story. So.
Well, I mean, maybe it wasn't a waste.
Yeah.
It's not wasted. Anytime you work on anything, like even your outline or your characters, or just like, I don't know, the dog bag one of your characters had when they were 3 to 5 years old, like that all kind of fits in somewhere. You can make it part of something. So definitely not wasted.
Yeah,
Do
that's
either of
true.
you write? Do either of you write vignettes before you? I mean, maybe that's what you were talking about before, Ellen. With like the side stories. But
That's a good question. I think I've written some unintentionally. Like I've written stories that I liked and that have become NaNoWriMos. But
oh, okay, okay.
nothing but not the other way. I haven't been writing a NaNoWriMo and written like side stories to flesh out parts of my NaNoWriMo.
Gotcha.
Do you?
I just think, yeah, I find it
cool.
to be really useful to get like inside the head of the character, of course, because I don't know, it's so boring for me to sit down and be like, okay, well, there's this kid, and then like here's what I think he is, right? I don't know, I like writing the vignettes in first person, just because I don't know, of course it gives you more of like a hands-on thing, and then even if I'm not writing the story in the same perspective, it seems to lend to me a lot more than the way I used to do things, which means doing nothing. So
I feel like that's really cool. I've never tried that, but now I really want to.
yeah, I would really recommend it. You can do it for characters, you can do it for the world, just like
Oh, cool.
treat it like a I don't know, like a report about the world or something.
Yeah. That's a really good idea. Thank you very much for that.
Sure, I hope it helps.
Yeah.
All right, lead us, great MC.
Yes,
Okay.
please do.
Sorry. My phone went to sleep. Okay. What's your biggest inspiration when figuring out what to write? Anyone?
Well, I'm sorry, I was waiting to see what Ellen had to say.
I was gazing off into space trying to think of something to say. If you have
was
something to
whispering
say, Charlie, please go ahead.
I don't know. Like, I guess my themes stay pretty much the same. Like, I'm always trying to answer the same questions. So those are always the big ones. But of course, like on like a micro level, I guess my big inspiration is sort of what's going on now. Like, what are my problems, or what are the things that I hate, or the things that I can't really understand. And I guess maybe that's what the writing process is for me, is struggling to understand something. Right, and putting it into some kind of like creative context. So I understand that's kind of vague and really situational, but that tends to be how it is, like always. So that answers the question, hopefully.
That's cool. Usually, me wanting to start writing is typically when I've like learned something that I find really interesting, and I want to explore what it would be like in a situation that would be outside of what I'm experienced with. Or it would be a case of I find out something really interesting or I see something really cool, and I want to be able to explore it in a way that I can't here. So I'll go and learn as much about it as I can, and then try to get a situation or a world going where I can write about it and have that as a setting or a piece or part of the world that I want to live in or create. But typically, like in October, I take a lot of walks anyway, and so I always find like cool stuff or like see interesting things, and that's kind of so November always starts with me full of ideas and full of having seen things, and then I kind of have to draw from a lot of that, but it's always kind of a crapshoot whether or not it turns out to be something really interesting that I can work for 50,000 or more words, or whether it's just kind of an interesting thing that I liked for a week or two. So we'll see.
And how about you, Emily?
Great, Emily.
Well, I know it sounds stupid, but I can be inspired by almost anything.
No, that's awesome. That's not stupid.
Well, I wish I had a more specific answer, but I think, I mean, it's kind of dumb, but I am really inspired by just reading. And like reading a good book makes me feel like, oh my God, I really want to write something. You know?
No, I think that's great. I think, like, where would any of us be if we hadn't read like that first great book, right? That first like thing that got our imagination going. I think that's awesome.
I feel like the two of you are both really positive about books. I recently read a terrible book, and I'm like dying to get a book published so I can be better than that one book.
Yeah,
And all the good
yeah.
books I've ever read have not had that effect on me. This one terrible one. Really,
you just
really
sort
good.
of, for the greater good, you sort of want to balance the scales.
I have to. I feel like it's like a personal thing.
Uh,
I've spent a lot of time reading reviews on Goodreads, and every single 4-star or 5-star review for this book, I'm like, oh god, I gotta step up my game.
I'm kind of wondering if we read the same book, because yeah, I recently read one by a friend who very clearly, like, not strong-armed, but guilted people into like buying his book and then like reviewing it really favorably. And then I read it, and it was like
dog shit.
there was no editing. Like, yeah, there was clearly no, like, the first draft was about as far as it got, and it was like, okay, I wrote a book, time to publish this. No.
That's too bad.
Yeah.
I saw some quote today that was like, anyone can be a good writer, but novels are made by good editors, or it takes like a good edited draft to make a novel or something like that. I don't know. I can't remember the actual quote. That sounded idiotic, but
no, I feel like that's pretty on point.
What was I saying? Oh yeah, so I used to think authors who got inspired by dreams were really lame, and it was a big cop-out.
Fair enough.
But I recently had this insane vampire dream, and like when I woke up, I was like, oh my god, and I wrote this whole outline like spawning from this dream. It was the best night ever.
Is that what inspired what you're working on for the month?
No, I decided that one's not going to be my first novel because my goal for that vampire one is to make it as disgusting and depraved as possible, so I don't want that to be like my first novel and be like, here friends, look at this disgusting book I wrote, would you like to read it?
I love it.
Mom, want to read my book?
That's words I'm never gonna say. To be honest.
So what then was, without giving anything away, I guess, if you can, what inspired what you're writing now?
Just simply the winters here. And how they seem to drag on for like 6 months, because starting 2 years ago I started feeling like, what if this just doesn't end? And I kind of heard that the Earth was overdue for the next ice age. Like, we were supposed to have another ice age like a couple hundred years ago.
Shit.
Right, because like periods of great heating are followed by periods of great cold, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like, what if it's happening? I started doing a little bit of research to see what happens before an ice age and how long it takes. And an ice age can actually ramp up, and like the Earth can be in a full ice age over 20 years. So that's within your lifetime, right?
That's well within our lifetime.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's basically where it came from. And then
nice.
I had a couple other really basic ideas that were basically like a character, and then I ended up combining all of them into this story. Like the whole cult theme was its own separate idea before, and then I added it to the Ice Age thing.
Nice.
That's really cool.
Thank you.
That's super cool, Emily. Although that is terrifying information. 20 years for full ice age is just not acceptable at all.
It's horrible.
God.
Yeah.
I'm buying an island, guys. I'm gonna buy an island.
With all your pirate money.
Yes, absolutely. I'm buying
okay. Next question. Did everyone answer? Yes?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so.
Did Ellen? Yeah, Ellen answered. Yes, you did.
It was a terrible answer because I was I go for walks. I go
Basically,
for walks.
you're a squirrel, and you build up like the nuts in your cheek, and then you spit them out in your tree, and then throughout the winter, right?
Yep.
You eat them. Yeah.
I'm a tiny inspiration squirrel. I like it.
Whatever. Chipmunk, squirrel, Emily,
Chipmunk,
get off my
squirrel.
back.
Hamster. I'm like a contented fat hamster that wanders around my neighborhood. I love it. This is perfect.
Aw.
That perfectly describes my writing style. All right, go ahead, Emily.
Okay, so read us the first sentence from one of your novels.
Shit.
I should have given you a heads up for that
I have to find one of my novels. Oh boy. Oh god. Hang on. Where's my other laptop? Shit.
Can you switch the order of questions? Like, can we come back to that one?
Yeah.
Yeah. Pause for a second. Or
Okay, well,
for a minute.
there's only one other question.
Okay.
Oh man. All right, hang on.
Are you really disappointed? Oh man.
No, I'm opening a second laptop. Oh, shh. It's okay, darling. There we go.
I could actually pull up your Nano from last year.
Oh,
that you
please
sent me.
don't. Please don't. I hate to remember that anyone else has their hands on that thing.
I was so upset.
It's such a bad idea.
I said, Ellen, send me your Nano. I want to read it. And so she sends me this rough draft that hasn't even had like
No, not even
glance
basic
of
editing.
of an editor's eye on it. It's like
Nope.
commas in all the wrong places, all these typos, and
Endless run-on sentences.
endless
like whole
dialogue
paragraphs.
too, like pages and pages of these like burly men talking about
Absolutely. It was
themselves.
awful. Absolutely awful. I feel like there's so many years I've done NaNoWriMo. There's so many times I've started writing where I've just been like, I've got 4 hours to kill, whatever. That's never a good place to start writing from.
Mm.
Oh, shit.
Well, Charlie, do you want to read us your first sentence from your current novel, or do you want to go back to a different one?
Yeah, I'll do a different one. I'm actually looking for something because there's a sentence that I really like,
Oh, okay.
Ooh.
but I don't know if I still have it because I actually hated the rest of the story, so
Aw.
that sucks.
That does suck.
Wah wah. Oh, total bummer though. I don't know what's going on here. Emily, do you have one?
Yeah.
You go first. Yeah.
Yeah, you go first.
I left Scrivener open just so I could take a look at it. All right. Well, this doesn't sound that cool because I already explained to you guys what my story concept is, but the first sentence is, my father claimed to have memories of real summer.
That's a good one.
The end.
I dig it.
Okay, my sentence. I like that sentence, by the way.
That's a good
I didn't
sentence.
respond, but I want you to know that I like it.
Thanks.
Yes. My sentence is, I want to jump in front of the train.
Oh, that's a
Really?
smoking first sentence.
That's a really
Yeah,
good first sentence.
I like that sentence. Never again will I write a sentence nearly as interesting. At least for my opener.
You should probably reuse it then.
Yeah, probably, because this story can burn in hell for all I care. The rest of it.
The rest of it. Nothing good happened.
I don't know. I hate it.
Mm.
We hates it, precious.
Ellen.
I'm looking. I'm trying to find it on my. I'm like digging through my Google Docs account.
I have a question.
Oh, here we go.
What is your question?
Okay, no, never mind. You are prepared. Let's not go
I
on the
don't
thing.
actually have. I found my NaNoWriMo from Camp NaNoWriMo from 2013. I don't even remember what this one was about. That's pretty sad. All right. Oh, and it's good. It's one of my expert long, friggin' winded run-on sentences. You guys had these nice, short, punchy sentences. All right. Life, Avery reflected as she tried and failed to dodge out of the way of a fist that was meant for her left cheekbone. Never got any easier if you left it alone. That's it.
See, I think
All right.
that points out though that it doesn't need to be terribly concise.
Oh, I'm not. I'm never concise, so that's good for me.
By the way, there's an Uncle Avery in my current story. I just wanted to let you know that I didn't copy you.
Okay, great. Avery is a great name. It should be used for all characters. I seem to remember having a lot of fun with this one.
Interestingly, there's a random white guy in my story set in 19th century Japan, and his name is Avery.
Oh, it's not Charlie?
No, it's not. It's not.
All right, so we all have Averys.
Yep.
Yeah.
What is it with this androgynous, versatile name? Perfect.
For me, it's because I just go on like name websites and then
Yeah.
start scrolling down, and it's an A name, so it's near the top. I'm like, that's a good name.
I've always wound up using like a name generator and then just mashing the generate 25 random names until I find one I like.
I
Really?
don't know how writers did stuff before the internet, because I found the setting for my story on the internet. I looked up all the stuff about the setting and like so much stuff, like all the names I looked up online, and yeah.
Dude.
I feel like
No, I'm just saying that's so opposite to what I did to get ready.
You went to the library, like an old
Yeah,
guy.
I looked at frickin' microfilm, for Christ's sake.
holy shit.
And then you went home to your typewriter.
I
I did, and by candlelight.
By candlelight. Oh, man,
Smooth
just-
pipe.
Identify the authentic experience of candlelight. Holy shit.
Time to write my historical novel. I need a typo. Throw this whole piece of paper out.
I'm picturing you in that hat, like listening to like nice modern headphones, like sitting at a typewriter, like ka-chunk, 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 ka-chunk. Yes.
Okay. Last question, friends.
Oh, Charlie, did you have a question before I came up with a half-assed answer?
No, it was sort of a wild tangent, really, more than anything. So perhaps best to deal with it another time.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
All right. Go ahead, Emily, then.
Okay. Why do you love writing?
For me, it makes me feel normal, I guess.
Normal.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. I feel like it's gonna make me sound like insane, but I don't know. I feel like I always have stories in my head, right? And this, yeah, really. But I don't know. And sometimes it's like too much, right? Like there's so many things going on. Like there's a story over here, there's a story over here, and you're just like, okay, well, something needs to be done with this. So putting it out just sort of makes me feel sane, I guess.
Mhm.
But also, like I said, because a lot of what I'm doing is trying to understand things. I don't know. It can be sort of like a meditative process, I guess.
That's a good
So
answer.
maybe to be more concise, it helps me to understand.
That's pretty strong.
Very interesting.
I like it for partly because it helps me kind of process a lot. I tend to like overthink things, and I tend to notice a lot more detail than I need to in a lot of things. So I tend to get really overwhelmed in a lot of situations, especially new situations. And it usually isn't until I start writing that a lot of stuff that I've noticed, or a lot of stuff that has impressed me, or a lot of stuff that I've learned but I haven't really internalized, starts to kind of come out, and it starts to be verbalized. And so all these kind of vague notions or ideas or things that I've noticed and have been kind of nebulously floating around that I haven't been able to vocalize or haven't been able to understand, Charlie, I can kind of put a face to, or I can kind of start to explore a little bit better. So all these things that I didn't know that I knew, or all these things that I didn't know that I saw, or all these things that I didn't know that I liked, kind of start coming out when I start writing all these people and conversations, endless conversations, thank you, Emily, kind of start pouring out all over the place. Another thing that I really like about writing is that you start hanging out with other writers, which are always really, really cool people, and they've always got cool stories. They're always like funny and insightful and like
Drama
things.
queens. They're
I
also
was gonna
drama
say
queens.
they like things. Even if it's like they're very passionate about stuff. Like even if they're passionate about hating someone's shitty first draft, which is something
Right.
everyone hates. Even myself, absolutely. It's but like we're always really passionate about stuff. We're always like super keen to try new things and to hear new stories and to understand new stuff, and we always like making things and building things and appreciating things. So when you're a writer, you are one of those people, and when you're a writer, you get to meet and hang out with those people. So that's always really fun. If you can get along with people, chances are you're gonna like the same stuff and have something in common. It's essentially how I found my university course, was by going to different classes until I found the class that I made friends in easiest. So
Worked
I feel
out.
like if you're in good
Right.
company, that's a good thing to keep doing.
Mm.
But yeah, those are two reasons I really like it. Also, I like being in a situation where once a year, at least once a year, I'm in a situation where I can 100% drink wine out of a measuring cup and it's fine. Every single person on social media is like, yeah, I hit that point 3 days ago. Right. We're all in this together now. Anyway, yeah, those are my reasons.
Mm.
Well, just to add to that, one of my favorite things in the world is when me and Ellen go see a movie together, and then afterwards we spend a good 2 hours just absolutely shredding it apart and discussing all the things we liked and didn't like and why it was good and why it was not good. And I love it so much. I just love talking about story and story structure and characters and world development, and yeah, it's great when you find people like that.
My favorite is when we accidentally see a really terrible movie and we get to sit there in, like, I don't know, the Montanas or something across the parking lot, just like, holy shit, this piece of crap.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's pretty great. Which is like, we could do this so much better. God, why didn't they
But
ask us first?
yeah, you learn so much from those discussions, and I think it's super important to try and find people like that, like your little writing buddies or whatever creative project you're about to take on, is to find that kind of like circle of people, whether it's online or in real life, to learn from and like bounce ideas off of and stuff. But yeah, probably my favorite thing about writing is that it's a form of escape, and um, you can write about a life that isn't yours.
Mm. Sure. In the same way, you can read, right, and feel like you're
Hmm.
in something that isn't.
Hmm.
Yeah. Mm.
And just kind of getting into that like flow state, like some people like to talk about, is just a really good stress relief.
Mm.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Agreed.
You get to stress about someone else's imaginary problems instead of your own very, very real ones.
Right.
Hmm.
Mm. Um, related to what you guys were talking about, was sort of that process of going to see something or taking in some kind of media and then sort of tearing it apart.
Hmm.
I really think that's something we should do here.
Yeah.
That'd be super cool.
Yeah, I mean, if we can say like, okay, let's read like X short story or watch whatever over like a week, and then yeah, Ellen, you should come on back.
I am so on board.
We can pick a movie that features like a lot of sailing, if you like, or pirates.
Oh, I highly recommend Waterworld. It's awful.
No, it's so good. How can you say that?
It's a hot damn mess.
How about
But like
the
everyone has seen it.
yeah, that's true.
It's good.
How about like the old school Swiss Family Robinson?
Oh, that one's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's good, minus all like the animal abuse, but other than that, it's pretty okay.
That is a lot of animal abuse. I feel like we're really onto something, because this would be
Yeah.
really cool. It doesn't
Yeah,
have to
well-
be about sailing. I am a diverse person with many interests. It just happens that the only thing I know anything about is sailing.
That's
I need to branch out. But no, that'd be super cool.
Make it
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
We can recruit the Weasleys. Is that our channel groupie
Yeah.
name? The
Is that our
Weasleys?
thing now? The Weasleys?
I like it.
Okay.
As long as
I
we
think
don't get
it's cute.
smacked with like copyright lawsuit.
Okay.
I don't know how
J.K.
copyright
Rowling
works, but you're not
knocking
making
down your
money,
door.
so.
That's true.
Mhm.
That's
Right?
true.
No.
Nope.
I mean, if you monetize the channel and start raking in millions, then I'm sure someone somewhere is going to notice and be like,
We're almost
Until
there.
that
We're on
point.
the precipice of making some mad bucks from the so
Google's going to be knocking down the door any day now, I'm sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
Indeed.
All right.
Well, I have a question. What tool are you guys using to write in?
I'm using Scrivener.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man, I'm so behind. I have this notebook, and I have a free Word program, OpenOffice.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So the Apache software that you can download because for those of us who decided that Microsoft is charging entirely too much for Office Suite, which they are.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And
OpenOffice is like the best during college for sure.
Oh, shit, yeah.
Yeah.
And then I think I did buy Scrivener, but I didn't start using it before, and so I didn't want my first day
Right.
writing to be like,
Yeah, Scrivener's one of those things that I had for like a year, and I toyed with it a little bit, and then when I was doing my research and putting everything together, it just sort of was suddenly like this amazing thing.
Mm-hmm.
oh, that sounds super cool.
Because you can have all your pictures there, you can have any maps you need, or notes, or blah, 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 right? Or you can just download web pages directly into the program so you can view them offline. Stuff like that, so that's been really, really useful.
You guys are making me really think that I need to get my Scrivener on.
Do
Because
it.
I have like an Evernote full of crap
Mm-hmm.
that just like different pages start filling up, but I've like all of my NaNoWriMo from different years and Camp NaNoWriMo from different years just piled in. So it's like
Sure.
I have to search it by date. It's just not a good system. I don't use it very much.
Mm.
Like the earliest possible stages of planning, stuff gets piled in there, and then I can't find it again, and so I just give up. So this will be great. This is the answer to all the problems I have been neglecting to realize I had.
Yeah, well, I just started using Scrivener today on day one of NaNoWriMo.
Nice.
That's gutsy. I
Because
like it.
everyone's always going on about it, including Charlie. So
Have I reached fanboy level? I didn't realize.
Oh man, now I
Yeah.
really have to make sure that I have it. Hang on. All right. So you just started. Yeah, you just started using it, eh? Like just today?
yeah. It's pretty nifty, I've got to say. I really like having a place to put all the characters and a bunch of other crap. Like, I obviously haven't used all the features yet, but yeah, I mean, to do the basic stuff, it wasn't hard to figure out. It took like 1 second, so
That's cool. Man, I
Yeah.
gotta check this out.
I'm going to continue using it.
I really like how easy it is to sort of compile after the fact. That's pretty nice to be able to break down instead of just having it in one in one document, right? Like all your chapters or all your scenes or whatever. Be able to
Mhm.
compile them and move them around is really, really nice in Scrivener without having to worry about like copy and cutting and pasting and stuff.
So does it just kind of merge everything into one document?
Yeah. So when you're finished, yeah, like you can set your project settings, right, with all like your author information, the name, and whatever else. And then when you compile it, it'll merge everything into one. And then say you're actually going to use the manuscript and submit it, it'll already be like in like the current most used form for submissions, or the most used format for submissions.
Wow.
That's
So
really cool.
yeah, it's really nice.
There's all these things I did not know about this program coming to light, and I love it.
Now you know.
Yeah, it
Thank
was
you.
created for authors, so it has like all the things that an author would want to use, right?
Yeah.
Shit, that's cool.
And it has also, additionally, it has a name generator built into it.
Oh!
Yes.
Yeah, if you go up to
That's cool.
Tools and go to Writing Tools, yeah, there's one.
Man.
Boom. It's got a
All right,
cork
I'm
board,
gonna
so you
be-
can keep like a virtual cork board if you want to do like plotting visually.
This is getting cooler and cooler. I have to be at work in like 8 hours, and you know as soon as this live stream ends, I'm going to be looking up and downloading Scrivener and like trying it out. It's going to be totally worth it.
Sorry.
No, this is perfect. It's my own damn fault for being at the hell way end of the time zones, making this later.
Mm.
Anyway.
So one last question, then I guess we'll wrap up for the night. But I was just wondering what time of day you guys are writing at. I know, Charlie, you work evenings,
Right.
So.
Yeah, usually probably from just about 9 to 11 in the morning. And then on the weekends it's a different schedule just because life and all that. But yeah, I'm a morning person, I guess. Just because if I don't get it done before work, the chances of me getting it done after work are really, really, yeah, they don't exist.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. How about you guys?
Typically, I'm really not a morning person. But yeah, if I'm working in the evenings, when I'm not on a boat, if I'm working in the evenings, then I typically will sit down while I'm having breakfast and start, and then I'll just write until I either have to go or kind of run out of steam. Not very disciplined of me. But if I'm working during the day, I'll try to get some done either if I have a break or like at lunch. Like I'll try to write during my lunch hour, or I'll try to start writing like as soon as I get home. Because as soon as you sit down and you like start watching TV or something in the evenings or make dinner,
Right.
then you're kind of done. But if you start before you start making dinner, then you kind of have it in your head during the evening, and then you kind of can come back to it. But as soon as your brain like switches rails and it's like onto the I don't have to do shit until I wake up tomorrow morning, and you're done.
Yeah, gotta stay in the work mode for sure.
Yeah, and I have done NaNoWriMo while I was on a boat, like living on board a ship, and that was okay because then you're in a structure where you're responsible for 4 hours, and then you're off for 8 hours, and then you're on for 4 hours, and then off for 8 hours. Was the system I was on, and that was fine because I'd be up from midnight to 4, and I'd go back to bed, and then I'd wake up and start writing, and then go back on watch at noon, and then get off at 4 in the afternoon.
Emily, are your bunnies like revolting or something?
Yeah, one of them's throwing a tantrum right now. She just lifted the heater grate like out of the ground, smashing it. She knows when I'm recording. Like as soon as I turn on the camera, she's like, "I need to attack all the stuff in this room right now."
Sounds like a cat.
Yeah, they're a lot like cats.
What about you, Emily?
Yeah.
Sorry. What was my question?
When?
Your question. Well, yeah. When do you write?
Oh, okay. So today I have been writing this afternoon and evening, but it's a Sunday. And what I was kind of thinking about doing was getting up really early in the mornings and trying to write before work. But I'm also not a morning person, though I would like to be because morning people seem to be really productive.
Well, you know.
I'm like I'm like the type of person who's like, oh my god, it's 11:59. I haven't gotten anything done tonight.
Usually every Sunday. Yeah.
But today is daylight savings time, so if I try to wake up tomorrow at 6, it will kind of feel like it's 7, so it might soften the blow a bit.
Yeah,
That's a good system.
Yeah.
That's a good time.
So I'm just gonna try and play it by ear and see what works out better for me. Because I don't expect it to be that productive. Like usually I come home from work, I worked like 8.5 hours, and I make dinner, eat, clean up, look after the bunnies, and then go to bed. So
yeah. Mornings would be better in that case.
Do what you gotta do.
I do have one question before we all wrap up, but have you guys found in either the stories you've written or the stories that you've kind of like haven't written but you've kind of made up in your heads or anything, have you found that there's anything common in all of those stories? Like nothing, not necessarily anything specific, but like have you found that there's always that one bar that happens to have that one talkative stranger who has all the plot points, or like some inciting incident that even if it doesn't necessarily have the same hallmarks has the same results? Or have you found anything that you've carried with you from story to story?
Emily, do you want to go first if you have one?
Yeah, and it's something I noticed today, actually. It's really funny that you asked that. And it's something we also talked about with Isabel on our last live stream. If you remember, Isabel was saying something about the three characters, like when you have three main characters.
Sure.
Kind of like in Harry Potter, like Harry, Ron, and Hermione.
The heroic trio, as it were.
Yeah. So when I was kind of like beefing up my outline today, I added another character that was part of like the main three, kind of.
Mm.
And then I was kind of thinking about like my other story ideas, and I think having that three character dynamic is something I kind of always keep landing on, and it's always like the main protagonist and then a foil to them and then kind of like an antagonist. So there's that. I mean, nothing too specific, but that is something I keep accidentally kind of putting into my stories, but it seems to work out for me, I guess.
That's a good one.
Thank you.
I don't know that there's anything sort of structurally like that, but there's like, yeah, there always seems to be like a little boy or a little girl. And they're always like sometimes they're just like they're nothing that important to the story, but I don't know. Well, yeah, I do, but anyhow, they always are just in need of someone to help them, right? Which is not anything revolutionary, of course, but yeah, that tends to be something that always pops up. Is just this little kid who just needs somebody's help. Yeah, sorry, that's kind of silly, but there you go.
No, I feel like that's a pretty powerful thing in any story.
We shall see.
I'm looking forward to hearing more about this as the month unfolds.
Yeah, and how about you?
I feel like there's been an inordinate number of stories that I've written that have had like an animal that fucks shit up. And I'm sorry to put it like that, but it's just like going back through and like thinking about my old NaNoWriMos, it was just a case of like, oh man, that was the one where the cat got them into a lot of trouble. Like I had an entire story based around a cat that was like possessed by a demon and was just constantly leading my heroes into like increasingly bad situations where they thought like, oh, it's a friendly talking cat, it's obviously here to help us. It's like, no, don't trust the cat. It's a talking animal, you idiots.
That's an awesome cataloging system. This is the one with the cat who ruined everything time and time again.
Well, and then like the next one was like a stone horse that had like come to life and was like wandering around the town pretending to be a statue while it was like essentially stalking the main character, and she was the only one who seemed to notice it. And I think there was another one where there was a badger. Although in that case, it kind of gets a free pass because the main character was turning into a badger if she got too far away from the person that had originally turned her into a badger. So I feel like there's just a lot of animals that just ruin things in the story. And I
That's
feel like,
interesting.
and like it's like the silliest thing, but I don't know. I find like animals ruining things for humans to be the funniest thing. Emily, you can jump in here with your bunnies at any time.
Yeah, that's cute.
I mean, how does this relate to your relationship with animals in real life? Do you feel like animals are always ruining things for you?
I was gonna say not like your cat at all.
My cat is a gift to humanity at large. I have a very powerful cat, and His name's Claude, and he's perfect.
That's fun. Pun intended or not intended?
And intended, absolutely. I will take that tiny weak pun. But in real life, I just feel like I'm the sort of person who, as soon as they arrive at a party full of interesting, vivacious, and talkative, cool people that I should be networking with, I'm the person who manages to find a bowl of chips and the only pet in the house, and will sit beside the pet, even if it's in a dark room, away from all the beautiful, vivacious people, and sit there feeding chips to the cat. Well, eating chips. So I feel like there's a lot to be said for having an animal around, but I don't feel
Sure.
like they ruin things in real life, apart from, making sure that I stay away from beautiful, vivacious people at parties. So there's that. But it's a fun little writing mechanic, and then if the animal gets in trouble, you get at least a couple thousand more words out of it if you're doing NaNoWriMo. It's a bad habit to get into. It's a terrible habit to get into.
It's a scapegoat.
Yeah.
Animal.
Uh,
I want to actually go in my newest NaNoWriMo. I'm blaming you, Jeff.
I love the comment right now from Ben Duncan. Bunnies fuck shit up.
they do.
It's absolutely true. I've met your bunnies like twice, Emily, and both times they have just gone tearing around and then wound up behind the couch. And then you and Shane had to move the couch because your bunny got stuck. And I was like calmly sitting against the far wall, like watching all this happen. Like, man, there's just times in your life.
They've made me panic a couple times because I'm like, where are they? And they're either behind the couch or they got trapped in a closet. They're so dumb. Anyway, we're severely off topic, so.
Yes.
Yeah, we've gone. Sorry,
We've gone down the rabbit hole.
Oh man.
We're chasing the white rabbit.
Keeps on going.
Yep.
We can trot out all the animal puns.
Indeed. Emily, I apologize.
All right, quality from the live stream have just gone really down.
No viewers.
Okay, so Charlie, are you going to be vlogging your NaNoWriMo stuff?
Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna do, probably not like twice every week, because that would be really annoying, but at least like once weekly to be like, hey, here's what's going on, here's how badly I want to drink myself into oblivion, via measuring cups.
Excellent.
Yeah, how about you?
Yeah, I'm planning on doing weekly update vlogs on this channel.
Nice.
So yeah.
And Ellen, are there any like social media sites or anything that you want us to put in the description so people can follow your exploits?
I don't actually have very much social media set up. Since I've been sailing over the summer, I've got an Instagram account full of pictures of sails, which isn't terribly thrilling for most people. So no, I don't really have anything right now. I have a Twitter account, which I will be doing updates on.
Okay.
And the Twitter account. I can give the Twitter account if that's all right.
Yeah, yeah, sure.
It's the Pirate Cook at Twitter. All one word.
That's an awesome handle. Cool. All right.
But yeah, so I will be there. I will be doing updates there.
You don't use Choptail?
No, oddly enough, typically Choptail is my username for most of my stuff. But the Pirate Cook was a name that was chosen for me by someone who was not on the boat, and then they just said, here is your new Twitter account, please keep me updated to make sure that you're still alive. So out of deference for that loving family member, I have used it since that time in 2000 and something.
Okay, well I tagged the wrong Twitter account then in my announcement tweet.
I think that's what it is, but 80% sure. Oh, yeah, I just got an alert from... I'm 100% checking my phone now. Bad live stream etiquette.
Boo.
I know. Yes, I just got your Twitter handle followed me. So.
Yeah.
Here comes another.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah. Right. Well, perhaps.
Basically, my Twitter account has doubled in followers. Yeah. So right now it's just got sporadic Instagram posts, but it will be actual about real life coming up very soon.
Excellent. Okay.
All right, but yeah,
Alright.
that's about it. That's the only way that people can find information on me online these days, I think.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah.
You're like an old person.
I definitely am. More and more like one every day as I slowly age. One more nugget of time between the cradle and the grave.
Wow.
And on that note,
It's getting dark. It's real dark.
I'm sorry, I was born at about 65 years old. Slowly growing into my age ever since.
Mm.
Anyway, yes, sorry for that that dark turn of events.
No,
quite
pas du tout.
alright.
You're okay. All right.
All right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Emily, I guess I leave it to you. You've been the MC.
Yeah.
Okay. So thank you, Ellen, for joining us this evening, and we hope you can come back on the burrow sometime soon.
I would love to. Thank you very much for hosting
Do it.
and inviting me.
Oh, you're welcome, and thank you for jumping in, Charlie, despite being on your deathbed.
Glad to be here, of course.
We appreciate it. So thank you guys for coming out to watching the live stream, and we will see you soon. Stop. I'm pressing stop.
You're drunk.